Hello, Reformers, and welcome back to A Clash of Kings. Now, when we left off, we had just captured our first Lorathi fief, and we will be awarding it to one of our vassals, or potential vassals, very soon indeed. Now, many of you have actually stated that I probably should have taken some time out to do some quests, namely maybe in Pentos, as well as Tyrosh. Now, we will be attempting to do those very soon. All I wanted to do was make sure that we had all of our vassals' affairs in order in terms of Belacqo and his Pebbleton problem, because of course he is maybe going to be running all the way over here at some point, randomly, and I would prefer maybe to keep him in a better spot in terms of defending the Valentine lands. So maybe what I will be doing is when we are prepared enough, I will be giving him Volantis instead, so he will have this entire place to rule over as he sees fit, and then our other potential vassal, which may indeed be Berengar, because many of you seem to think that Carver is going to be a better Kingsguard, as it were, so yes, we may indeed be making both of them vassals in the end, but I think Berengar is probably more ready for it at this time. Of course, I would like to improve his leadership and maybe pathfinding a little bit more, so hopefully he will level up in the coming battles and we will be able to make him a little bit more prepared for his eventual, I suppose, reign over the Lorathi lands. So, without further ado, let us head into the last fief that the Lorathi have available to us, and we will now be besieging it. Of course, this will take 4 hours to build our ladders, and I must just mention that one of the Greyjoys, yes, that fellow right there, one of the Greyjoys, was actually on his way to our previous fief conquering, and it appears he is going to attempt to take it before we are done here, but I have a good feeling that we will be able to take this and then head over there to defend it, or at least that will be my aim for the foreseeable future. So, let us lead our soldiers in an assault, and we will see how well we do in this particular siege, because before it appeared that the bottleneck at the top of the ladder was a little bit strange. I'm not going to say buggy or anything, because I think maybe I may have been miscommanding our units a little bit, but hopefully this time around we will not see any kind of issue in that regard. And I've just realized I am incredibly low HP. I didn't actually rest. That is not good. Okay, well, I have a shield. I will be using this shield and hopefully gaining an upgraded shield as well, because apparently my shield is not good enough, according to some of you, so I will be attempting to find another one, but it appeared that most of the time, whenever I've checked a marketplace in the past, I have found that there are no better shields than what I am currently using, so maybe in the future we will be able to wield something from a quest, potentially. Maybe we'll find something from there, but yes, as far as I'm aware, the marketplaces are rather sparse in comparison to what you would obviously want to have when you are dealing with shields. But I must just mention as well that apparently there is a quest in Tyrosh from the Tattered Prince, and he is apparently going to give us a quest that will award us with an excellent polearm, I believe? Or am I incorrect about that? I think I'm getting mixed up with all of the information that all of you are giving me, so yes, I think that might potentially be the case here. Okay, well, let's move in with our two-handed sword here, attempt to do some damage very, very fast indeed, and not die in the process. That would be awful. Of course, if we do die, then it is completely my fault, because of course I was not rather patient, I suppose you could say, but yes, I was not patient at all, and oh, we have just advanced to level 30, that is rather nice. Okay, well, there we are, I suppose that's pretty good, and thankfully enough, our units are able to get in here, and I was taken out by one of the Lorathi Axemen, which I suppose is not too bad, because, as many of you have stated, the Lorathi have absolutely terrible archers, but in comparison, their melee units are pretty reasonable, so yes, that is definitely something that we need to watch out for if indeed they make some sort of effort to retaliate against us. Of course, Mr. Greyjoy himself has just attempted to siege our previous conquering, and we are going to be heading back there and fighting our old enemies, the Ironborn units, of course, so we will have to definitely watch out for his Ironborn retainers. Ugh, they are terribly overpowered, or at least not overpowered as such, but they are very powerful towards me at least. So, I'm actually thinking, should I retreat and begin this siege again after we have rejuvenated our unit somewhat? Because even though we are... Yes, even though we're on the battlements itself, I think we may indeed not have a very good time of it, because as you can see, one of our streams of units right here are heading in to a bottleneck, and they are surrounded by enemy units. So I'm thinking we are going to retreat, and I will see you once we have rejuvenated our units fully, and I will cut back for us leveling up Elias. So I will see you soon. Okay, so seeing as our rejuvenation, our HP rejuvenation, was not incredibly fast, I decided to head back to our previously conquered fief and defend it from Mr. Greyjoy. So we will be attempting to make sure that he is not able to conquer it and indeed capture it back for the Lorathi, and then we will be able to head on once again. As you can see, my rejuvenation is absolutely terrible. I was waiting at Lorath for a reasonable amount of time, actually. Not a very short amount of time at all, and yet I was not able to recover that much HP, which is very disappointing to say the least. However, this fellow is going to have all Ironborn units, so I do need to be very, very careful of his archers, because as we know, the archers are reasonable. They are not as, let's just say, ineffective as the Lorathi archers, so that is definitely something we need to watch out for. And oh, whoa, yes, do not stand there. That is not a good place to stand, that is for sure. Let's try to get a little bit closer here so that we are not in the open space there for us to get completely destroyed. And I must just mention that I was able to take out 13 units in that previous siege, because one of you did mention that it would be nice if I was able to show how many units I killed, I suppose. How many units I killed and how many units are actual units killed as well. So I will be attempting to do that after every single battle, but of course I do try to do that, but I think in the previous episode where you commented, I had become a little bit too excited by the fact that we had just conquered one of the Lorathi fiefs, and I decided to head on immediately to Lorath. So yes, that is probably why, and Martin Snow is actually doing a relatively good job as well. As you can see here, he's actually gathered quite a few kills so far, in comparison to, I believe it was Brynden. I think Brynden got taken out very early indeed, so I suppose he was just injured in the previous fight, and that is why he was very low HP. Saying that, we are very low HP, but we are only defending against 132 units, I believe, so we should, in theory, be completely fine. Of course, it would not be too pleasant if I was taken out by one of their archers. As we know, the Ironborn archers are not great, but they are not terrible either, so you do need to watch out. But here we are. We seem to be doing a pretty reasonable job. And how many units have we killed so far? I am not too sure. Okay, wow. We've actually taken out 86 of them already, so that is pretty nice. Now, I am going to attempt to get out my crossbow now, and we will see what we can do against those fellows all the way over there. Oh, I really thought that actually hit that guy. Maybe I need to a little bit more? Ah, okay, so, yes. Let's see here. Maybe I can... Oh, no. Oh, wow. Okay, I think someone interrupted me, actually, for a second there. I got a little bit of a fright that I was just about to die, so... Yeah, let me be a little bit more cautious then. Maybe we should take out a few more of these, and then we can focus on taking out their crossbowmen, which is rather strange. I'm not entirely sure why they have crossbowmen. Maybe they rescued a couple of them, or they are mercenaries. Are they crossbowmen? I thought they were bending down to reload for some reason. No, it appears not. Okay, so they are using bows. That is nice to know, at least. They may have a little bit less power at their disposal, and wow, it appears that I am having to modify my firing arc rather considerably. Ah, I am so hoping to actually hit one of these guys from here. That would be rather nice, I must admit. Come on, let's do it. No? Okay, well, it appears that we have taken out all of their infantry, and I really do not want to go and take out these guys outside, because, of course, they do have range on me, and, oh, it appears our elite reach crossbowmen are doing a pretty reasonable job by themselves, so let's actually just see here. What can I do to move these units out of the way? Well, let's try to... the nearby soldiers command is not necessarily helping me out here. Oh, maybe I can... Yes! Oh my goodness, that was rather magical, wasn't it? Okay, that was good. Very nice. So, let's just see here. Can I get over there without being taken out? This is going to be rather challenging, to say the least. Go on. Oh, it appears they may be out of ammunition. This is definitely where we want to make sure of it. Yes, it appears they are out of ammunition. Not entirely sure why they didn't just charge at us. But maybe they are being a little bit... Oh, no. Yes, it appears they do have ammunition. And they are willing to fire it at me. So, this is where we're going to have to take out this guy very quickly indeed. And then get out our shield once again. Yes, there we are. Okay, come on. Come on. Okay, fire one more time. Yes, there we are. Okay, let's do it. There we are. Okay, phew. That was very tense. Well, thank goodness the one shot that they actually got through only did 0 damage due to our amazing armor. So there we are, that was that. And we only lost 4 units total, which I suppose is perceivable, considering we did have the bottleneck on our side. And as you can see here, Martin took out 2, Garrett took out 1, and Elias himself took out 42, which is rather nice. So it appears that Mr. Greyjoy actually got taken out by some of our elite reach crossbowmen, I believe, at the very beginning of the fight. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure he would have amounted a pretty reasonable amount of kills as well. So yes, thank goodness we were able to do that, and we have fought him off. Unfortunately, we are not able to take any prisoners, as well as taking him as a prisoner, so that is rather unfortunate, to say the least. But nevertheless, it appears we have gained quite a bit of experience, and we will then be heading on after I have rejuvenated once again, and hopefully we will get to Lorath without any issues whatsoever. And speaking of leveling up, it appears that Berengar and Elias do need to spend their skills, so let us see here. Now, I was wanting to level up leadership, wasn't I? So, let us get a point in intelligence to get 2 skill points to spend, and let's get... I really want to get 3 in leadership, but... Pathfinding is calling to me as well, but it is only 3% for 1 point. So I think what we'll do, we'll go for 3 in leadership, because that is the max we can get with him at the moment, unless we want to increase his charisma any further, but I think that's probably not going to happen just yet. And I would like to increase his intelligence maybe twice more, and then we will be in a pretty reasonable spot. We'll get him some really nice pathfinding skill so that he can run around very quickly on the map. So that should be fine. Let's increase his two-handed skills a little bit, and then we will head over to Elias. Now, before we actually do that, I do want to head into our inventory and take a look here. So Brendan has read that, so that increases intelligence. You see where I'm going with this? Oh yes. Now, what does this increase? Leadership! Aha! That is exactly what we need. Oh my goodness. And this increases charisma as well? Okay, well, let's see here. We want to give essay on logic. Yes, let us do that first. So let us speak to Berengar, and let's talk about books. Why not? Let us exchange books, and readable books, and then we're going to give him essay on logic. There we are. And now, I want you to read a book which I had given to you. Yes, there we are. Let's do that. There we are. So he will now read that book, which is rather nice, I must admit. And now, I would like to give Carver one of these as well. So let's give him the... it's either charisma or leadership. I think leadership is probably going to be more useful. So let's get... Wait a minute. No. Okay, I don't want to give him any books just yet, because what I am thinking is that because he has no leadership... Oh, he actually has 2 in leadership. Well, next level, we will increase his leadership once again. That will be the max that he can actually get, and then we will let him read the book, and that will increase his leadership to 4. So I'm thinking that will probably be a better course of action by the time that he is actually applicable to be a vassal. I mean, that would be rather nice. So that will be the plan for our companions, and now I will be leveling up Elias in just a moment. There we are. Okay, so this is rather amusing. Okay, we're going to go for strength, I suppose, because that is just seeming to be the most natural thing for us to do. 24 in strength now. And should I go for power strike or iron flesh? Because even though I have a lot in iron flesh. I may want to have more in power strike, even though I'm pretty terrible. Well, I don't know, we're killing most things in one hit already with our power strike level, so maybe something else? Even though we did just increase our strength, so I think maybe we would go for iron flesh, because even though maybe some of you may think that that is a wasted point, I think maybe getting 75 HP is more useful than maybe, what is it, 2% more damage? No, 8. Aha, okay, well, 8% is quite a lot. No, that's fine, that's fine. I do die very quickly after all, and I think it would probably be easier to have something to that effect going on, hopefully make ourselves a little bit more survivable in these very tough days indeed. I'm not entirely sure why I'm increasing throwing skill, but why not? We have a lot of weapon points after all, so there we are. We will now be cutting away for a very short time indeed, or at least I hope so, and we will let Brynden himself patch Elias up, and we will be heading on to finish the job at Lorath. Okay, so once again we have arrived at Lorath, and we will now be attempting to lead our soldiers in an assault, and a rather successful one, I might add, or at least I can hope so. And as we see here, we have a -2 battle advantage, but we do have a 91% chance for bonus loot, so that is rather nice. 36 renown value for this battle as well. Of course, it is usually never as good as they state, so hopefully we will get something around that number. And as I say that, I do realize we have a rather large army size as it is, but nevertheless I would like to have a larger one if indeed we need it, potentially for a battle against the Westerlands in the future. You never know. And I think I probably would like to... Okay, well, it appears we're being pigeonholed into this particular ladder, but I was about to say I'd like to go over there to the far left one, because it appears not to be used that much. However, we are now having a couple of issues with Garrett. He has been taken out by, whoa, an elite Lorathi glaive men. Oh, okay. Martin has just leveled up to level 7, that is nice. Now let's do some damage, come on, let's do it. Take out as many of them as we can and free up the battlements for our units right here. Very nice indeed. And it appears we've already done that, so let's try and take out some of their archers. Even though they are relatively useless, I would like to thin them out so that our units are not distracted by them in the least. However, it appears that, whoa, okay, some of our elite reach crossbowmen are doing an excellent job at taking them out, and I did just take a huge amount of damage from that fellow in the distance over there. As you can see, this guy actually has a bow. Oh my. Okay, come on. Oh, I see. He is an elite Ironborn archer. Well, that is why we took so much damage from him. And as you can see, it appears that Elias was actually shot in the face. So that's not too pleasing, to say the least. Come on, let's take out that guy. Yes, there we are. Thankfully enough, we took out one of their glaive men as he was on his way to the front lines. This is why I wanted to come over here, so that I actually wasn't trapped by the incoming streams of reinforcements. Potentially, but it appears we're doing a reasonable job of it, maybe. Oh, don't get in range of those glaive men. That would be ill-advised, potentially. Come on, take out as many as we can before they get away. And, oh wow, they've already received more reinforcements. I just want to take out that guy. Never mind. Okay, I really wanted to, but oh well. Okay, we're going to have a small fleeting attack spree once again in this particular fashion. Let's try and take out as many as we can. Don't take any damage. Any unnecessary damage is definitely going to be against what we stand for here. Oh yes, oh my. Okay, I'm dead. I am dead. I am most likely dead, right? I think so. Well, the best I can do is, I suppose, not paint myself into a corner and take down as many units as I can along the way. And, oh wow. We might actually survive. Maybe, maybe, maybe. Nope. Okay, we didn't survive, but we took out a huge amount of them, and I think that would have been an amazing comeback if I was able to pull that off. But as it stands, we did do a reasonable job at getting our own units onto the battlements. As you can see here, nearly all of our units are on the battlements, no problem at all. Of course, our elite reach crossbowmen are standing down here, and they don't really have too much to do anymore. So maybe what we will do is... Oh, I cannot actually command them to charge in now, so it appears that maybe we will just have to let them stay down there for some backup, but it would be rather nice to get them into the fray, because they do have some pretty reasonable melee weapons as well, so... Well... Oh! Wow. Okay, I didn't even realize that we had a contingent of our units going over there to take out their archers. That is very smart of them, isn't it? I was not expecting that. Well, that's wonderful. And it appears that we have gained a major foothold in this particular skirmish, and it appears that our heavy knights are doing their duty very well indeed. So it appears that this will just take a little bit more time than I would have liked, because of course, if I was alive, then all of our men would have had an incredible morale boost. But maybe, considering it probably made them laugh to see me fighting in the distance over there, then that may have been morale enough. But yes, we were only knocked unconscious, of course, so that's not too bad. And can you just imagine, if this game had permadeath? That would be rather impressive, to say the least. Maybe there would be an option in Mount & Blade 2 with something like that, because I think that may be, well, rather suicidal in terms of me actually selecting it, but it would be rather amusing to see some of the more skilled players in combat maybe attempting to stay alive and not get their character deleted, I suppose you could say, because of course there are a number of games that I suppose have been influenced by the roguelike genre, and they have permadeath and so forth. So maybe there would be some sort of option to enable for that, but of course, after how many hours? After 30 hours, maybe, working on one character, and then you would have it be deleted? That would be a real shame. So maybe it would be a little bit too brutal, but yeah, it's something to think about, perhaps. I mean, I know some of you are definitely going to be a little bit better at combat than I am, and I say a little very loosely, because I'm pretty sure some of you are greatly better, so yes, maybe that would be something for you guys. The permadeath option. Choose it if you dare. That would be the subtitle. Okay, well, as you can see here, we are currently defeating a huge amount of their reinforcements. However, we are being whittled down, so maybe we will be receiving reinforcements soon. I hope that will be the case, because we do have some Unsullied still in our ranks over here, so hopefully they will be able to pull this off for us. And Berengar is still alive, which is rather impressive. Wow, okay. He's actually getting a huge amount of kills as well. I believe... Is Berengar down there? No, because he's taking out a couple of their archers, so I assume maybe Berengar is down here taking out... No, it appears not. I thought he was behind their lines for a second, but it appears he is actually in the fray with the rest of our units here. And new enemies are continuing to stream in from their barracks, and I can only hope that they are going to be taken out very, very quickly indeed. Berengar is still alive and still getting kills. Wow, he is proving himself to be a mighty asset at the moment. And I can only assume that he will be making an incredibly good vassal when and if we do make him one. Of course, it is just a matter of time, I think. I don't really think it is an if moment, but a when instead. So, yes. Wow, he's actually still getting kills. I would be very interested to see on the stat screen after the battle to see how many units he's actually taken out, because he is still alive, believe it or not. And I really have no idea how he's doing that, because usually my companions are not very, well, not very tough, shall we say. They are efficient and pretty reasonable at getting kills, but most of the time they make rather poor decisions. Much like their leader. Oh yes. Well, nevertheless, it appears he is still alive and kicking, as it were, and we are going to be seeing a huge amount of units streaming in here. Of course, I think what I would be doing now, if we were in a somewhat stalemate position, is cutting away, but seeing as this is a somewhat 300-esque situation, considering the Lorathians have a huge amount of units, and we have a very small contingent of, I don't know, 10 units here, we are having a very exciting time of it, I believe. This is probably going to be amazing if they can pull this off. Oh, we lost a heavy knight. No, we lost Berengar. Oh, that is not good. They are eventually falling before our opponents because, of course, they do have some Ironborn archers, or maybe some elite Larathi archers that have spawned in with archery equipment, I suppose. Well, nevertheless, there we are. We don't appear to have had a 300-esque situation, although it's maybe a little bit more accurate than we would want to actually have happened. But, nevertheless, we have had a new burst of reinforcements coming in here, and I can only hope that this will be the last wave of enemies that has streamed in. So, let us watch and find out. I'm actually still hoping that our Elite Reach crossbowmen will see fit to charge in there. Of course, I did tell them to hold position, so... not great, I have to admit. Well, I'll tell you what. If there are a new batch of enemies coming in, new wave, in just a moment... Oh. Then I will be... Oh. They only spawned in 9 to 10 units, it appears. So it appears that we are definitely going to be attaining victory in a very short space of time. So what I will do is I will cut away for a short while until our units have battled their way to the stairs, and there are only a handful of Larathi units remaining. The sight of Larathi archers shooting at our own units is a deplorable one, but once they have descended the stairs, our units will show them what for. That is definitely going to happen, whether they like it or not. However, we are probably going to be losing a couple of pikemen to their never-ending streams of arrows for some reason. I thought in this mod the archers only had 17 arrows, but maybe they have equipped themselves with a little bit more than that to give them 34 perhaps, because they of course do not have shields, so they could probably equip 2 quivers instead. So I suppose that is the explanation there, and there is only 2 enemy units remaining. And as you can see on opposite ends of the screen, they have already taken out the one on the right and the one on the left, and it appears there is only one remaining over here in the side street. Not entirely sure what he's doing over there, but there it is. A victory for House Reformia against the Lorathians. There we are. Very nice indeed. 29 renown was our award. Very nice indeed. 3 morale, because of course we still have excellent morale. And there is the kills. Berengar was able to gain 15 kills. That is excellent. Wow. I am impressed with him. Goodness me. Okay. I think probably what we need to do is get some better armor for Carver, because that is probably the reason why he was taken out so early. And maybe get him a shield, even though I really don't want to get him a shield because it kind of breaks character a little bit of him being the crazy berserker type unit. But nevertheless, we did lose 58 units to death. Many of those were very high tier units. As you can see, 14 heavy knights. Wow. Okay, that's pretty painful, but I suppose it could have been worse. Yes, definitely could have been worse, but there we are anyway. We unfortunately do not get to take Mr. Saltcliffe. But we do get Mr. Greyjoy. So I will be taking him? Not really. I don't think I really need to, because we have taken all of their fiefs now, so they do not stand in our way any further, so I will be letting him go. Anyone else? No. That's unfortunate. Well, nevertheless, we actually do not have any prisoner space, so I will unfortunately have to leave all of these. But as you've seen, I don't really need the cash, so yeah, I suppose it's not too bad. We do get a rather nice masterwork curved sword, however, so I will be taking that to keep it, and a Dothraki courser, so, yeah, I do not believe we will be taking any of this, even though some of it is probably pretty reasonable, so we'll just leave that in the inventories of our companions. And now, I will be deferring appointment of a lord, of course, because Berengar will be taking ownership of the town sooner rather than later, I hope. And we will be splitting this with everyone. And there we are. That is great. So we will now sell all of our items automatically, as you can see there, and gain a pretty reasonable amount, 1,600 dinars or so. And there we are. We have Martin Snow now available to level up, and we are going to be making him our forager. Yes, he is going to be our forager. So let us... What I would like to do is get 12 in intelligence so that he can actually get some more trainer skill as well. So yeah, let's go for intelligence, and then we'll increase his foraging twice. And then we can also increase his foraging twice next level, and then he'll have 12 in intelligence, and I'll be able to start leveling his agility while I'm leveling his trainer. So I think that will probably work out quite nicely, and that will be that. And then we will be speaking to Brynden, of course. So he has leveled up as well, which is rather nice to say the least. And I'm thinking maybe we should get him some first aid skill, because if you see here, I do not believe any of us have first aid. No, it appears he is our medic and he has no first aid skill whatsoever, although not entirely sure whether first aid is going to be useful at all, because as you can see here, heroes regain 5% per skill level of hit points lost during the mission. So, in other words, after a siege I gain back a little bit of HP, which has not been too useful? Maybe? Maybe it would be. Well, what we could do instead, I suppose, is level up his intelligence and then just go for wound treatment and trainer, because he is only level 13, however, so maybe that's not any good. Okay, we'll go for intelligence because I do want to get his surgery as high as possible. We'll go for some wound treatment because that is just amazing and I love that. And power strike? Should we go for power strike or athletics maybe? I think trainer is probably going to be more useful because, of course, I do like to get our units leveled up a lot faster than they would normally. And I can only hope that that will help out our lowest tier of unit. So there we are. That will be that for this episode of Clash of Kings. I will level up all of these units off screen. And then we will be maybe doing battle with one of the remaining Valentine vassals, because I don't know whether you noticed, but there were a couple of messages from the Iron Islands sending word that one of the vassals, maybe the leader of the Valentines, is over there raiding our villages. So I will make the long journey back there. We will take him out in the next episode, and then we will be doing a couple of quests maybe. I will head over to Tyrosh and perhaps do the Tattered Prince quest. We will see about that. So, I thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.